Hey everybody, Shelko4 here. So, why did this video come about, or this series of videos? Well, it was day 2 into our camping trip, and it was dusk, and we were hiking up a trail into the canyon where we were camping. It was the only trail in the area, and we got about half a mile from camp, and I had a holy shit kind of thought. And that thought is, we are on the only means of transportation for friend, foe, or beast in the canyon. And I am unarmed. Meaning, it's springtime now, late spring actually. And it would not be out of the ordinary to encounter some bear cubs on this trail. Or it would not be out of the ordinary to encounter cougar cubs or a cougar or whatever on this trail. At dusk, especially, because that's the feeding time. As I said, I was unarmed. And the reason I was unarmed because we were camping at a BLM designated campground, and number 2 on the list of prohibited things was firearms. So I thought, in an effort to comply with that request, that I needed to leave my pistol in the RV. Fair enough. The next day, however, I wound up having a rather sobering conversation with the campground host, who was a Vietnam veteran, and we talked for about an hour about safety and security in that kind of environment. And what he said basically is that he does not leave his site without 2 357s on him at all times. And the reasons are this: because you are reliant and dependent on the people who camped there before you to leave a clean campground. So if they were throwing food scraps out, or if they're brushing their teeth on the dirt or something and spitting out saccharin-based toothpaste, these are all things that are going to attract animals. Now, the other thing the guy said was, even though we were off the beaten path, and you had this delusion that nobody will come and screw with you the further you get from the highway and the further you get from the big city, that is a complete misnomer. And by that I mean, he said, it is not uncommon, especially in periods of inclement weather, to go to the shower house or the bathroom or whatever and encounter some meth head living in there, trying to stay out of the weather. That's the very worst. At the very best, it'll be somebody who's trying to bicycle their way from Santa Fe to El Paso or something. Again, they're probably homeless and down on their luck. The third thing he said was that because the highway is, let's say for the sake of argument, a mile over there, what will happen is you will drop me off. I'm Joe Methhead. You will drop me off over there. I will hike from the highway to this campground around noon. Noon seems to be the golden hour, because if checkout time is 11 in the morning, whoever is there at noon, it's most likely their vehicle will be there, but they will be out doing something for the day. So their crap will have been set up and displayed all around their campsite, but they will not be there. And because it's noon, the new people who are coming in won't be there yet, so it'll be very quiet around this time. And what happens is these people walk in from off the road to a campground that's set up and populated, but nobody's around because they're all off collecting berries and taking pictures, what have you. And these meth heads wind up looting the camp and then taking all the crap back to the highway and selling it. This Vietnam vet guy that I just mentioned said this happens all the time. So you have the issue of the animals and the people. So what he said was the reference on the sign about no firearms, and this is probably the most important thing. He said if they don't put it there that way, that they will then have people doing target practice in camp, in the area. That it's okay, especially if you have a concealed carry permit, it's okay to have a weapon on you. He sort of alluded to the idea that if you didn't have a concealed carry permit, you were still okay. Again, I don't really feel comfortable with that anymore. I don't like people to know what I've got hanging off my hip. So I carry concealed all the time regardless. Okay? So there's that. My problem, however, is that my concealed weapon is a 380 and my open carry weapon is a 9mm, just because of bigger frame. So I had that as a problem. But I'm going to leave that as this installment. We'll go on to other things to talk about later. If you have any problems or questions, let me know down below. But for now, that's enough. Talk to you later. Thanks, bye.